Hi everyone, welcome to Yarns with RQ, and I'm here with, well, I guess he's been on the podium more times than anyone that I can remember, the Blackall 100, Liam Thierens. And we're just discussing whether that's pronounced right. I just think it's an interesting story just to start with. So.
Yeah, oh look, Thierens, it's a European name of some sort, so say it how you like.
Yeah. So would you say Thierens now?
I say Thierens. But,
Thierens, okay.
But,
in Europe?
Yeah, in Europe it's probably Thierens, but I don't even know.
Where's it from? What part of Europe?
I think it's Belgium.
Oh,
but
really?
I've never been to Belgium, so I wouldn't.
Maybe that's why you can run so fast.
Yeah, there's a few quick Belgians. Oh no, they're the Backyard Ultra.
Backyard Ultra, and they're pretty good on the speed skates, I think, at the moment. Hey mate, I just wanted to quickly go by and introduce you. So we've got Liam Thierens here. He's going to chat with us about some of his antics on the trail. I went through some of your results, which are mind-blowing to me, to be honest. So we'll go through a few. Okay. 2025. Second in the Cosy Oscar 100 mile, your first 100 mile. Second, Blackall 100 50 kilometre. Second in the Guzzler 105 kilometre. Fourth in the 6 foot track marathon. And 34th in the Hut to Hut, which is the Archies, the 50k. That was all just last year. 2024, you won the Blackall with a 23 minute PB. Second, what have we got there? 10th in the Mata Tapu Ultra.
Yep.
You won Rainbow Beach Marathon. 23, you came second in the Blackall 100 in 10:45, and that was to George Murray, who broke the record that year. You finished 35th in the Tarawera 102k. 2022, you came second in the Archie 50k, which is the Hut to Hut. You came 36th at the UTA 100, which I'm assuming is your first 100.
Yep.
2021, you placed third at the Blackall 50k, and you won the Coastal High Half Marathon. 2022, you finished 48th in the Blackall 50. All right.
So 2020 that was.
2020, sorry.
Yep.
2020. I got that written there. I read that wrong.
Yep.
My apologies. Okay. Now you've got an ITRA index of 786, which means you're an expert 2. I don't know if you know that, but you are.
Okay.
So that's a very high
I didn't.
You're in a really high percentage of trail runners. I can't even remember where you were. I think you were like 2,800 and something out of about 1.4 million trail runners.
Okay.
I'm like, wow, that's pretty something for a local fella. What I'm interested in is what happens before 2020 and how did Liam get into trail running?
Okay.
Because it's what it looks to me is this fella's come into trail running, enjoyed it, run these races and somehow tapped into something or found something that's just catapulted you into these speeds that are just phenomenal. So, mate, what happened before 2020? And then let's delve into what you did to get these results.
Look, I've always been, I guess, interested in some sort of like athletic endeavor. I'm a naturally pretty competitive person, mostly just competitive against myself. I always wanted sort of do better than I did yesterday, sort of thing. But yeah, look, I grew up in New Zealand. I was a very keen kayaker growing up as a teenager. Did whitewater kayaking, and I played competitive canoe polo.
Canoe polo?
Yes.
Give us a quick rundown of that. I've never heard of it.
Yeah, it's it's not huge in Australia. It's quite big in Europe and in Asia, and New Zealand as well is pretty competitive. But yeah, it's pretty much five-a-side, where you're in kayaks. It's a contact sport. Throw the ball in the other goal. It's played very similar to basketball in terms of like screening, a lot of strategy, and obviously it's a goal elevated 2 meters above the water, so you've got to throw it in the goal at the other end, and you can block it with the paddle and things, and it's a contact sport. So helmets.
I'll have to look that up. I've never even heard of that as a sport. Wow.
Yeah, so I like played that competitively, and I was in like the New under 18 team, and then I moved to Australia.
Yeah.
I started playing in Australia. Um, yeah, I was sort of in the under 21 Australian squad, but yeah, I kind of just didn't really find the same love for it in Australia than I did in New Zealand.
Yeah.
And I actually ran into a guy at the beach that was surfing a kayak. Um, and I thought that looked a lot of fun. You know, had a background of whitewater kayaking. I'd had one go on a surfboard. I was mediocre, to be honest. And then I was like, well, I'm pretty good in a kayak, so I started surf kayaking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once again, I'm going to do something. I'm either all in or out.
Yeah.
And yeah, I started training a lot. Surf kayaking, and pretty much did 10 years of that. Went to 5 World Surf Kayaking Championships, that's freestyle surfing. So exactly the same as the WSL.
Oh yeah.
Scored out of 10 points on a wave.
Yeah.
And yeah, I did that for 10 years until pretty much COVID. And
was that on the coast? Was that on the
Yep.
Sunshine? So you moved from New Zealand to the Sunshine Coast?
I lived in Brisbane for 5 years before
yeah.
coming to the
Yeah, right.
coast.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been 18 years.
Yeah.
So pretty much 36. So I've spent the first 18 years, for half my life in New Zealand, and
Yeah.
then pretty much my whole adult life in Australia.
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of a COVID runner. You know?
So is that how it came about?
Yeah, and also I got young kids. I had young kids, so I think
Yeah.
I had 2 at the time. So
Yeah.
I started running when I was 30, 2 young kids at that point, got 3 now. Yeah, it's about what can I. Yeah, it was about my mental health mostly, to be honest.
Yeah.
Just obviously everyone's stuck inside. I love the outdoors.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so for me, it was about let's just get outside, and also I think it might have started where I was like, I might have done like a corporate triathlon at work or something a couple of times, and I did the run leg for it, and I might have just wanted to beat the time that I did the year before, so I started just doing a bit of running, and then my first ever actual running event was the Blackall.
Well, it makes sense now because I
Yeah.
was like looking everywhere. I'm like, how do I find information out on this fella? I was like, there's no running history here. Like, there's nothing.
No,
Well, I mean, I didn't think to look up kayak water polo or kayak.
Yeah. So look, I think growing up I might have done the odd jog here and there, and even just a bit of just training for general fitness. I might once a fortnight go for a run type thing, but no, I running until probably late 2019.
Yeah. That's incredible.
And then 2020 I went into Blackall 50. I think a work colleague did it the year before, and yeah, I definitely me. And honestly, I went on the start line because I'm naturally a competitive person. I've been competitive in other things. I knew nothing about running, and I went in thinking, yeah, I win. And it was the humbling of my life. I just I think I pretty much burnt all my candles before I even hit the bluff.
I think that's been done before too.
Yeah, and I was I think I might have been halfway up the bluff. I called my dad, who had my kids at the checkpoint, waiting for me, and I actually called him to pull out the race because I was like, yeah, I obviously can't make the finish. I'm done.
Yeah.
But I couldn't bring myself to actually say those words.
Yeah. So was this going on up the bluff?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
I just said I'm gonna be a very, very, very long time. And honestly, I was crying on the trails. I was just not in a place like, gutter shoes, cramping, everything. And look, I hobbled to the finish, and it was yeah. Look, I was still proud that I got it done, but I just thought I just had so much respect for the sport after that, and yeah, I just went in totally ignorant, not knowing anything else. I got a running coach who I'm still with now.
Is that XDC? Is that what?
Yeah, Mark Windsor.
That's XDC, isn't it?
Yeah, he calls it Exceed Running.
Yeah.
I did. And yeah, he's a Sunshine Coast local.
He's a great bloke.
Yeah, done the race a few times.
I know him really well. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's an exercise scientist, and I'm naturally very science driven. And yeah, so we gelled pretty well, and obviously how good they are if you don't get along with them.
Oh, so it's the key to good coaching. You got to have a connection with the person for sure.
Yeah, so I pretty much started almost running every day. Got into just a good rhythm, and yeah.
I wonder if you're with all that kayaking and that, if you just had a natural aerobic, like a really strong aerobic system to start with. Because I mean, these results are pretty incredible when you tell me now about the running and the reasons I couldn't find it. It's pretty obvious now that when you start to, and I haven't got all of them here either. I haven't got all your results here either because I know there was too many to list. What did I even put it in chat to ask it about you? And it says something about he is one of the best runners or something on the Sunshine Coast, trail runners on the Sunshine Coast. He's exceeding all these expectations and generally finishes on the podium. ChatGPT.
ChatGPT. Okay.
Because I thought, I wonder what it's going to tell me about him. Because I was doing looking at all the results and checking, the ITRA and all that stuff, and I was like, wow,
you never know what ChatGPT is going to spit out, don't you?
Make some good stuff up, but I think it was really true in that. And what I'm sort of interested in too, mate, is what did you and Mark do? Because I know you guys have got a pretty good, strong crew of runners. Like you're pretty, fast and strong runners that I've seen, because that's a huge step from there, from 48th the following year to come third here, and then 3 years later, I mean, the following year, was it year or 2 years at Blackall, you come second, and I think you might have been leading that for a bit too, if I remember correctly.
No,
or you were with
George
them.
Murray definitely ran from.
Oh, that's right, he ran from the front. Sorry, yes, he did. Yeah, and then this win here was incredible in 24. That was it was a highlight for us to watch you do that. So it's a pretty quick progression, I think it is.
Yeah,
I think it is.
But it comes down to also, like, you can do something half-assed for 10, 20 years, and you're not really going to make it much progress.
Yeah.
Or if you go all in, then you're going to make a lot of progress quite quickly. And so, yeah, look, I used to ride my bike to school, obviously, and all the kayaking I did wasn't actually like racing, so it's not like aerobic focused. But look, it's all exercise.
Oh, totally.
But yeah, I liked mountain biking growing up. Like I rode my bike to school and stuff, and look, it all helps, doesn't it? But no, it's just more deliberate training and consistency over a long period of time. Like you might think that step over 5 years is fast, but at the same time, it's like, well, run almost every day for a year.
Yeah, but what do you run 5K in now?
I'm not really much quicker than I was. I'm sort of mid 16 minutes sort of thing. And
I love it when you're not much.
But I think I hit like my sort of peak in like 2021, 2022.
And it hasn't changed much.
I haven't really been focusing on it, but
well, I've seen you had a race the other week.
Oh, I had
a uni or something. You did some sort of race there, didn't you?
I raced the children in the 3,000 meter. When I say children, teenagers. And,
they're all the young athletes. They're spectacular, aren't they?
They're phenomenal speed.
So what do you think? So what have you? Okay, so if that hasn't changed, so you obviously, I mean, that's leg speed, 16.5 minute buddy, 5K is pretty quick. What sort of change do you think in these years then? Because to get to Cozzy, were you running the fella down? I was following this. Like, my memory's pretty shit. To
Yeah.
be honest. You were running the fella down a little bit, weren't you? That one that I think he was an English fella.
Yeah. Oh, look, honestly, I think when you look at the splits, I was.
Yeah.
But honestly, on the day, I didn't have any desire to look at people around me. I think with the longer races, even though I'm naturally a very competitive person, there's no point getting fixated on what other people are doing. Like at the end of the day, you just fast as you can, what's in your control. So I actually didn't get any information around me.
Yeah, right.
I knew that I was in second.
Yeah. We knew it too.
Just because every checkpoint, like everyone's telling you everything, but I didn't know splits or how anyone else, and I honestly didn't care. I was like, and I was there for the experience. It was my first 100-mile. I'd never been to the snowy mountains before. It's an incredible place. I was just soaking it up.
It's amazing, isn't it?
And yeah, I love it there. I just love the mountains.
Yeah, so. Yeah, that's pretty obvious. So, are you going to go to UTMB?
Yeah. So,
because that's where I want to. I mean, I kind of thought that would be the obvious progression because that's a golden ticket, isn't it? When you got this second Aussie.
So last year, my focus initially was I did have. So I had like a lot of life events that changed a couple of years ago. Like I did, separate from my marriage, and I, which I'm really grateful that I've still got a really good relationship with my children's mother, and great co-parenting relationship things. So it's all good from that perspective. But at the same time, I thought that I had all my life mapped out. Like, I and when that sort of happened, I kind of was like, well, all these things that I've been like, I've been financially preparing myself for the next, 30 years. I've been, I thought I had all these things mapped out, and then obviously your life turns upside down a bit, and I'm like, well, all these things that I thought that I'll do one day, it's like, well, I'm going to do now. And UTMB, I thought, it's a bucket list item, isn't it? Like, those, just the mountains, the whole hype of the event. I was like, I got to do that.
Yeah.
And I just thought, well, there's no time like the present. So I actually entered UTA a major. Really high chance. I actually flew down there. I was in Katoomba, and I just got sick. Race couldn't start. So I sort of like pivoted. Well, it's a bit of a long shot. Never done 100 miles, but if I get a podium at Kosciuszko, then I get direct entry.
Yeah.
That was the goal, I guess.
Certainly achieved it.
And look, it's but at the same time, like I went into Kosciuszko seated 16. Like it's a deep field, like in big races.
Yeah.
But at the same time, once again, you can't focus on people. And I knew that. Look, I don't focus on all of the indexed races, and like obviously, Run Queensland ones aren't indexed for various reasons we won't go into. But
I'm happy to go into anything. I mean, you know what you just shared about your separation and your marriage thing. I think, why do we have to pretend about certain things? What we can own our stuff.
Yeah,
and people can and hear that. I think because I remember I seen you not long. I think it was at the markets at Kwana, not long after you separated, and just chatting to you, and you were willing to sort of share basically where you're at with it. I mean, the hardness of it all, but how you guys were managing it really well together, and it, I think it was a real it's a real thing that people could look at and learn from on how to do these things end.
Well, at the end of the day,
and I thought you were really, really gracious with it.
To be honestly, I'm a bit of an open book, and honestly, I'm probably guilty of oversharing at times. Of like at the end of the day, I don't feel like I got anything to hide. Like it, it's the
things change.
Yeah, and initially I did feel a little bit embarrassed. You know, like
Yeah.
I never thought I'd be the one, like
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
have a marriage breakdown. Like, what are
Yeah.
you talking about?
I'm
Sort of
sure
thing.
everyone thinks that too.
Yeah, yeah, I never thought it would happen to me, but it did. And honestly, I you know, it's not the end. Like, and I've even spoken to other people that have gone through similar things. It's yeah, a terrible situation, but at the same time, I've come out the other side on 2 feet, and to be honest, my life's probably been better since.
Yeah.
And so,
But that would be the hopeful outcome, and I'm sure that you wish
Yeah.
that for your ex-wife,
Yeah.
and I'm sure she hopes that for you. I mean, why would you want worse for someone else?
no,
And,
absolutely.
you know,
Like,
would it be a better place if we all wanted better for each other?
yeah, absolutely. The fact is, you know, we were together for 16 years and married for 9. Yeah, like it didn't, you know, we thought it'd be forever, but when you get together at 16, 17, like,
Yeah.
and like I got nothing. So yeah,
Yeah.
You move on, and the fact is, it's just yeah, you perceive the world in a different way, and yeah, and the idea of just doing stuff now, being grateful for a lot more things,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's I probably wouldn't have done some of the things that I've done in the last couple of years without that, and yeah, the whole long shot, yeah, I can get a podium at Kosciuszko, and yeah, I got my entry to UTMB, and
Amazing.
I'm going there.
Yeah, mate, I didn't even have that down about chatting because I mean I knew personally that you'd gone through that, but I wasn't going to bring it
Yeah,
up. So thanks for bringing it up and thanks for sharing. I don't want to touch
It's
it anymore. I
part,
mean,
it's part of my journey.
yeah,
but-
it's who you are. I know. Yeah. So, yeah. So that was really cool. So yeah, and I mean that our UTMB things was a pretty easy thing. We kind of just felt that it wasn't for us to go down that track with them. You know, it felt like it was a bit of a dictatorship that we were trying to be some index thing. We're an ITRA indexed event. All of ours are for that. But yeah, we were kind of like, what's the point? It was just felt like we were being forced into onto a track that we didn't want to go down, and there was no value in it for us. It was just more work. So we were just like, not for us. So and that was a big team decision. We had a bit of a chat about that. So yeah, again, there's nothing to hide. I think we own that straight up. And
No,
Yeah.
and honestly, I'd support your decision on that. And the fact is that there's plenty of people that do still go to these races, and look, I'm one of them. Where a lot of these events that they put on are fantastic. Yeah, not everything is bad. Just because there's been some things that aren't above board, you can't. Everything's
exactly. And it's sort of each person will choose their own event, and our goal is to make sure that our events are good enough for people to want to come and come back to. I mean,
well, much sellouts all the time, aren't they?
Well, most of the time, yeah. But the main thing is that most people walk off the course and, well, for most part, have enjoyed it. Even in the crying and stuff like that for your 48th.
Yeah.
I think they're the best ones anyway. Geez, you learn a lot of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what do you reckon? What's if you're happy to share it? What's training look like for?
Yeah.
Like a snapshot, because I mean, a lot of the average punters that were middle of the field, back of the pack, it's sort of when you can fit it in, and you've got 3 kids.
Oh,
and
I'm in the same. I'm in the same boat as when I can fit it in as well.
But it must be more specified, like surely. Like what would it say? Give us a week, right?
Yeah. So look, I've generally got my kids 3 days a week, so that's sort of the juggle. But so yeah, look, I will I generally pick them up on a Saturday night and drop them to school on a Tuesday sort of thing. So so generally I get my start the week. A Monday is often just a quick 40 minutes lunch break run or something like that, or quickly after work before I pick the kids up from after school care or something like that. Tuesday I live in an apartment at Bock Arena, so I just got an indoor trainer. I get on the Zwift, do a bit of just cycling or something, bit of cross training, and then that's like at often 4 in the morning before I do the kids' lunches and drop the kids to school, sort of thing, and then go to work, and after work I'll get a run in the afternoon. Then generally Wednesdays is a bit of a session day, so it's either track or trail tempo or something like that. And Thursdays is double run, and Friday often it's a lighter session, reps. Saturday's usually a long run day, and Sunday I've got the kids, so often I get on the indoor trainer on the bike and do a couple of hours. And so that's sort of my typical training. And
So what's a long run, sort of distance wise? What would you call a long run then?
well, this morning I did. So I'm training for it's 4 weeks until 50. So
Yeah.
so I did. So that's obviously 4 weeks. Probably doesn't get much long, bigger than that. 4 weeks out, sort of thing, for 50k. So, but obviously, if I'm training for 100k,
You're not doing high mileage.
No, so
I mean, you might be doing them on the bikes and stuff like because that's what indoor is, isn't it? Or
yeah. So look, and I think weekly, like if you look at my year-round average, probably. But like my biggest weeks might be like 140, 150, like if I'm up to like Aussie, for example, that sort of volume. But typically, like I've been 100k leading up to 50. So it's as far as it's not massive volume as an amateur athlete, standard volume.
Yeah.
And so, but at the same time, I do have to get a bang for buck training in, and that's why I follow a lot of the David Roach methods of when I'm on the indoor trainer on the bike, I get in the heat suit to get the heart rate high while having a bit.
Right, yeah, okay.
Just to get that extra aerobic stimulus, and it's just getting what you can, but with the bike, and sometimes as well, if I do have an opportunity where, look, I am sort of like, my parents live in Brisbane, so I'm really close to my sister as well, and her kids and my kids play together all the time. So sometimes I can go down to Brisbane and sneak another long run or something in Brisbane while my parents watch the kids or something. But I can't do that all the time. But,
are you running at fairly fast pace when you're doing all of this, or is there any where there be chatting speeds, or is it mostly pretty high intensity training?
No, look, I think the same principle as anyone else, really. It's mostly easy. Wednesdays is a hard day. Fridays, thing, and long runs, most of it. But today was the first half of the run were jogging and chatting. Second half of the run was a bit more steady and was chatting, sort of thing. So it's certainly not race, running at race pace all the time or anything.
Yeah. That's amazing. It's unreal.
But it's all the little things as well, like doing strides and all those that help. But at the same time, I think so many people do fuss over the latest fad and trying to find little cheat hacks. And honestly,
there's no cheat hacks in running.
No,
I don't believe
the thing that works is really boring consistency over a long period of time.
Such a simple thing to do, running. So it's just conditioning the body.
Yeah, it's just...
Mate, I feel like I'm at the Blackall 100. We're in this bloody room at the moment, and it's like you're not sweating bullets. I'm sweating bullets.
Well, I just got out the sauna a couple of hours
ago.
So
this feels all right. This feels like a sauna. I'm sweating bullets here. I think that people are looking for the magic bullet for this kind of thing. I don't think there is one. I'm actually shocked, and I'm sure people will be shocked at how low your mileage is with what you can achieve. Because, I know like myself, like when I'm leading up to an event, like I'd hit probably not 150 but 120 sometimes. But I mean, I'm probably not consistently up around 80. Yes, but
yeah, but I guess it's the volume year round. Like
oh yeah,
yeah,
totally.
like
And
the
age.
fact is it's the I think look after Cozzy I took a whole rest week.
Whole rest
from,
week.
from running.
From
but I was still
Did you say whole rest week?
a rest week.
Yeah, so you only have 1 week off from running after Cozzy, from running that 100 mile at that speed.
Yeah,
and then you can bounce back so quick. That's amazing.
But yeah, then I was
That's
just
brilliant.
on the bike. So,
oh yeah, okay. Sorry, I was laughing because it usually takes me about friggin' 2 months before I even think about wanting to run again.
No, but it's about I don't know, just being consistent for a long period of time, I guess. So yeah, look, there's and I think it's so individual. Some athletes off way less than I do, and there's some that even amateur runners that are running 200 a week, and that works for them. And honestly, if I had more time, I probably would train. But like I'm a partner in a large business. My role is essentially a general manager, so like I don't exactly have a standard 9 to 5 clock on clock off job. I've got professional responsibilities as well, which is I can't, and I work probably 5 to 50 hours a week consistently. So I can't.
Yeah, I think you're underplaying how good an athlete you are, though. I think watching your progress, and every time you stand at the line, I think you're an exceptional runner. And you've got to. I suppose the other thing too that you've really got is you've got a beautiful running gait. You know, as far as running gaits go. You know, you can. I really like. I love watching all the runners in the race, but there's something that's. I really love the ones at the back of the Blackall 100 that have gone 24 hours. They intrigue me. But you know, to watch the guys that are doing all the the running drills, the running work and stuff, and you can sort of see that in their running. I think that's pretty pretty special to watch when they're really unloading, and especially at the end of the race when they've still you've still got run. I should say, not them. You've still got the run. And yeah, I mean, I think it's a real credit to where you've come, mate, from where you started 6 years ago.
I do appreciate all the kind words, but at the same time, like anyone, like I look at myself, and in my circle, even in the training group that I'm in, well, I'm sort of mid level sort of thing. There's plenty of very fast runners on the Sunshine Coast.
Oh, tons.
And I'm, if I'm lucky, if I'm sort of in the mid of that. So, and then not to mention you compare yourself to a professional athlete, and it's just a whole nother step above.
Well, I mean, it's their job though. I mean, I mean, there's a big difference between having to work 45 to 50 hours a week. I mean, I guess some of our children and stuff, but to be able to bloody have proper recovery and stuff, like they'd have a nap during the day and then go and train later in the arvo. I mean, and I'm sure that's the difference between what you look for.
And even like the whole running, I watch videos of myself running, and I'm like, yeah, I can tell that I've probably done the best technique. Then I went down to that Sunshine Coast Track Fest weekend and watching all the runners on the track. I don't look like that when I run, so
you look pretty,
but yeah, look, it's all. I don't know, maybe everyone.
It's a different running gait when you're running long though. It's you got to have that cadence to be able to do those. You're doing at Blackall 10Ks an hour. Best part of you might as well say 10K. That's pretty solid when you think of those climbs. I mean, it's unbelievable really when you think about it. And then you throw on a bit of heat, so that's pretty solid. I really like it. Well, mate, look, I've got one other question because I'm going to try to release this, I reckon, just before Blackall opens, which I think is next weekend.
Okay.
So I'm going to try to release this week, and I was sort of thinking about there's going to be a lot of new people that will enter this race.
Yep.
Looking at your results, I wrote this one down. So I'm thinking back to now 2020. What's one thing you've learned on your trail running journey that you wish you knew when you first started? So there's going to be new people that are going to be coming to this thing.
Specific to Blackall?
To anything, I guess. But, I mean, there's going to be people that'll do Blackall, but I think it'll, whatever.
Look, there's all the obvious advice where, like...
What about from your experience?
Obviously, pacing is just like, I just went out thinking that I was God and just paced it wrong. And so the fact is, of course, it's a brainer, start easy and you can work into the race thing, great. But honestly, I think that the biggest thing that people get caught out with Blackall is it's always hot. And so, especially, whether you're doing the 50 or the 100K, less so the 21, but even in the 50K, you need to be doing some of your runs in because the fact is that like you're training through winter when it's cool, and then you get to race day mid October, and the heat and humidity is just starting for the year. You've done all your training when it's been cool, so get out in the middle of the day and do some training then, and find out what works in the middle of the day with you, like that, because it's all well and good training at 5-6 a.m. in the morning when it's nice and cool and going, oh, all my nutrition went down great, in training because it was perfect conditions every single training run. You get to race day, it's never like that. Yeah. So if you can run in the heat of the day and try to do your race nutrition in the heat of the day, you're going to be much more rather than.
I think that's a really great point. I think that a lot of people never consider that because I guess it's time constraints and that. But I just think for me, that would be the number one thing. Or even 3 weeks out, based on what you said, I'd be hitting saunas, which I did when I went to Western States because I knew I was going to be up for 40 degrees. Yeah. So start cooking yourself a bit. I'd be doing like push-uppy things and squats and whatever I could do in the sauna while it was like 60 degrees baking. I mean, I was in there for an hour and by the end of it, and the heat wasn't that, I mean, it was hot, but it wasn't as huge a factor.
But even, like I think getting used to heat, whether, obviously running in the middle of the day is probably the best thing you can do. The next best thing is get in the sauna. All these things do help. But the other thing that obviously on race day, try to keep yourself cool. Like, I know that you and Simo harp on about it every year, just take more water than you need.
Yes.
It's just every year, like, I just don't understand how people don't just have an extra bottle. Like, at the front of the race, I'm always carrying an extra bottle. And I'm arguably spending some of the least time between.
Not arguably, you are. Yes.
And so to have just an extra bottle of water, a flask of water, even if I have it just to cool myself down.
Mate, I think it's essential for cooling yourself down.
Yeah, like
more than drinking. I don't think thirst is the problem. I think heat is the problem.
Yeah.
And I'm sure people get confused between drinking and cooling. And there's a big difference between that.
Yeah, absolutely. I just get the flask. I actually, one of my things, I always feel it's good for some reason just spraying the water on my arms. For some reason it makes me feel cool. So I always, just little things like that where just whatever you need to do to stay comfortable and fresh.
It's funny. I thought this was going to be a short question, but anyway, who cares? If people have got to this, they might like it. Megan used to make a mix-up in a spray bottle with peppermint. I think it was peppermint, like essential oils. Peppermint, I think it was maybe tea tree and I can't remember the other plant. It was a flowering plant. And she would spray that on the back of your knee and on the back, and you'd instantly feel cool from it. It was it was just a bit of a hack. I can't remember what it was now. I'd have to find that out.
Yeah.
Maybe put it in the YouTube thing, in the clip.
Love it.
But I really think the other thing too that you mentioned is nutrition. Because if you can't stomach that during the heat of the day, because again, it's different in the morning when you've woken up and you can nearly run with nothing. Well, I can run with nothing in the morning. What are you going to do when it's hot and it's hard to digest and there's your blood's a bit thicker and all this stuff.
And even it's funny maybe whether it was part of the success or not. Obviously, there's, yeah, but I heard a lot about gut training. You have to obviously prepare your gut to take in a lot of fluids and carbs and things during running. So if you can, and look, you can Google gut training methods and that sort of thing.
Did you do that? Did you do that?
Yeah,
Gut training?
Yeah,
you do it?
What
is it? Well, so they don't need to look it up. Tell them what it looks. Tell the guys what it looks like. So I think it's.
Essentially, it's like overfuel. So in training, if you go, oh well, some people might say, oh, I need 60 grams of carbs an hour, or I'm targeting, even if you, I'm a big high carb athlete, so I try to get at least 90 grams of carbs an hour, sometimes over 120 sort of thing.
Yeah, wow.
So just taking a lot of energy sort of thing. But the fact is, it's difficult to process that because all your blood's rushing to your muscles, not your gut, to process, obviously.
Yeah.
So if you can train your gut to process, let's say you train your muscles, train your gut to process it while you're running, then obviously you get more energy you get in, the more you can get out. So, so at the end of the day, and there's methods of gut training where, like, I'll deliberately try to get 150 grams of carbs an hour on training runs or more, and I drink water and everything, and my gut's sloshing around during training.
Really?
And it's really uncomfortable.
I've never heard of this.
And I feel sick.
Yeah.
But the fact is that you do that in training and get to race day, and I dial it back to what is a good number, and my gut's no problem because it's all I can deal with that.
So you don't have any gut problems in races? Do you ever have any gut problems anymore?
Yeah. Well, if I still try to push the envelope.
Oh yeah. Okay.
But yeah, so there's lots of gut training methods, but one of the ones that I did not by choice was because back when with my ex-wife, I always got Sunday was my long run day. I could have all the morning to do whatever I wanted, but if I wanted to get a run in Saturday, it would be around whenever's convenient.
Yes,
and often it would be like sit down, have last night's curry at Saturday at 12 o'clock. I've just finished some leftover curry, and then it's like, oh, it's probably good. If you're going to go for a run, it's probably good now. And it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon
and
on a Saturday. I've just punched a curry in, and let's go run some Buttram Hills. And so uncomfortable. But the fact is, if your guts can deal with that, they can get down a bottle of Infinite during your run.
You use Infinite?
Yeah,
it's great stuff. Hey,
yeah,
I'm actually going to talk to those guys, the new owners, this week. So Nathan and Stacey, so that'd be nice.
Yeah, they support me. It's great to use local brand, obviously for the Run Queensland races.
Yeah.
So and it works. Yeah,
it's good product.
And it's just one of those things that, like, don't overcomplicate it. Like, there's a lot of people, they're fumbling with salt tabs and gels, and another bottle of electrolyte, and it's like, well, if you just have one thing with everything in it, and you just go, well, I just need to have one of these bottles an hour, and that's when you're sorted.
Yeah, it's a good product. Mate, that was really, thanks very much for sharing that. I didn't know where that was going to go, but it's a really good one, and I really think it's I think that out of anything I've heard for Blackall, you've really summarised it so well about how you can make that so much better. So thanks, mate. Look, thanks for coming over and spending time with me. Yeah. All the best with UTMB. I know all of us lads at RQ will be watching you. I mean, we watched you at Cozzy, and we can't wait to see what you do there.
Yeah.
So
I'll try not to just take in the scenery the whole time and actually get on with it.
Mate. You've got to take that in.
Those mountains are incredible.
I'm sure you'll do both. I mean, you're such a great runner, and you're such a lovely young man. So, thanks for. Well, you're young compared to me. You're younger than you, freaking dad, I think. But mate, thanks very much for coming in. All the best, mate.
Cheers, Brett.
Thanks so much, mate. If you like what we're doing, give us a like, hit a subscribe, and you can get all the following videos that are coming along. So, thanks to Liam. He's going to UTMB, so you'll be able to watch him carving up the mountains in Chamonix again, and we will see you when we see you next. Take care.